people are saying that I'm fear mongering and all of this other stuff. Okay, once these farms are empty and the immigrants that were doing the work are deported, and your black ass is here with no citizenship to anywhere else, what do you think? Wake up! Does not work like that. They will be evaluating those who became citizens while under criminal review. Basically, those who lied prior or failed to share conviction prior to being naturalized. Yeah, somebody said, bless your heart. Yeah, bless their heart. I want you to hear how they took her video down before, and this is her second time having to put it up. So now that it's up here on our platform, we don't have to worry. We don't have to worry because it's here emblazoned in history forever. Well, on these different platforms.
And it is so frustrating to hear y'all say things because you're basing off of what is reality right now. That's done. They just took my video down explaining to you why this is done, so I will re-explain it. They have the Senate and the House and the presidency. Them changing the...
Excuse me, and the Supreme Court. The America that you know, and he's getting ready to put 3 more people on the Supreme Court, young people who will be on there for at least 50 years. America as you know it is done. The founding fathers, what's to stop anybody from changing the idea of America that the founding fathers had? And then the founding fathers came here as immigrants themselves, displaced the native indigenous people that were on this land, killed and genocided them. The founding fathers felt that they owned human beings themselves. So what is this country really going to look like once these people start changing what you know America to be? Please just take a few moments to venture with me. The checks and balances are off. The House, the Senate, the Supreme Court, and the presidency. What is to stop them from doing anything that they want? It is, come on. I need you to wake up. They told you that the word woke was bad, so now you asleep. Wake up. Hear this young woman and let's talk.
Rules on what's a citizen, who's naturalized, how you become naturalized, they can do that in a blink of an eye, day one. They said they're starting mass deportations day one. How do you think they're going to do that? Do the math. Do the math. Because what y'all are trying to do, because you're being called out, what y'all are trying to do is make yourself the only immigrant. But you're not, right? So this doesn't just apply to Latinos. Y'all are just ones being called out. There simply are not 25 million illegal immigrants in this country. That number does not exist. The number is somewhere between 3 and 7 million. How do you think they're going to get the other 22 million? Where do you think 22 million is going to come from? All of y'all who got y'all papers in the last 10 years, they're gone. That's gone. That's gone. They're already changing it. So in multiple states, in North Carolina where I live, they removed the naturalized term from what makes a citizen. That's just on the state level. So you think the people who ran on the mission to deport 25 million people while knowing full well 22 million of those people will not be illegal immigrants, will not change who is legal and who's not when they have all the branches of the government? That's what you think? That's what you think? That's what you think? It don't work like that today, but it's gonna work like that in January. And they just said it. Y'all fell for the okie doke. Y'all fell for the okie doke because you're basing your logic off of what is today. Today is not tomorrow. And tomorrow, your ass will be on a bus to Tijuana. Okay? Don't think it's not gonna be you, because it will be you. It will be you. If it's not you, it's gonna be your mama. And if it's not your mama, it's gonna be your auntie. And if it's not your auntie, it's gonna be your niece. And if it's not your niece, it's gonna be your sister. And if it's not your sister, it's gonna be your best friend. And if it's not your best friend, it's gonna be your godmom. It's gonna be somebody. is going to be somebody. If your community is full of immigrants, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel it. You're going to miss those people. There are going to be fully cities that are fully abandoned because the whole town has been deported. There are going to be full businesses, full
Listen.
warehouses, full farms that are abandoned because all the employees have been deported.
That's the part where I had the epiphany. You all remember when Trump said that those immigrants had black jobs. What jobs do they have? The illegal immigrants, what jobs do they really have? Black jobs? They're picking tomatoes in San Diego at the California border for pennies on the damn dollar. They're dishwashing inside the restaurants. They're shining shoes. They're over there on the side of the damn highway selling snacks to cars. The woman got the baby strapped on her back. If you're in one of those cities where you've seen them with the baby strapped on their back, passing through behind and in between traffic, selling snacks and little spicy pieces of pineapple on a stick or watermelon with that little chupa, that little spicy spice and some lemons. Once these farms are empty and the immigrants that were doing the work are deported and your black ass is here with no citizenship to anywhere else, what do you think? Wake up! Share this video, goddamn. Share this video right now because it's up right now, but for how long, who knows? Share this video. Tag somebody in it now. There's some things going on, so I just want you to stop right now and check, make sure that you're still subscribed. And if you were never subscribed, this is your wake-up call or your call to action. Make sure that you're subscribed. When those people don't have workers, think about the backbone of this society, and I want you to think about what it is that you learned from those exit polls. I want you to think, what did you find out about how people truly feel? I did some research years ago when I was doing a podcast, and in my podcast, I found out that white women pretended to be very innocent during slavery. Oh, you know, the men did that, but we were down bad too. Ooh. But I did some research. Guess what? There are whole states, and Georgia is one of them, that it was illegal for a black woman to be a housewife. It was illegal for her not to have employment. It was illegal because they missed you so much waiting on them goddamn hand and foot. They were envious of your glowing melanin-filled skin, that hair that stands and defies effing gravity, fluffy as the Lord's hair himself. Those of you who know. And they missed you waiting on them. They couldn't stand your hair and all of the glorious styles you used to do. So then you all had to cover your hair in places like Louisiana. If I'm not telling the truth, put a 0 up in the comments because I know the truth that I'm speaking. And then that's when we got our gaylays and started wrapping our hair up in beautiful crowns. And then they couldn't stand that either. White women were instrumental in your enslavement. You think they didn't know what was going on to your daughters, your little girls, especially when little mixed race babies started showing up on the plantation? They knew what was going on. They knew that those were their husbands' children. They had, oh my gosh, what is the name of this act? There was a law that had to be passed because so many children were being beat and unalived. It was white women beating black children and mixed children to death. They had to pass a law in certain states. They had to pass a law because these white women were so enraged that their husband she couldn't quench his thirst. It was insatiable that he kept going out back. That when those babies were born, and then when your little children, cute as brown button as can be, little chocolate drops, cherubs, they would beat those babies to death. Put up a 0 if I'm lying. Let's finish listening to her video, right?
What I'm about to say is not related to this comment. It's related to the video they took down. If you missed it, it was a 10-minute video. I don't got time to do all that again. But I was basically drawing the connection between what is going to happen and what happened with the Holocaust. When they were rounding up Jews and putting them in the concentration camps, do you think that the only people in the concentration camps were Jews? No, they were not. Muslims were there. Gay people were there. People that they called gypsies were there. I don't know what the current term is for that word. Please don't eat me up. But that's what they were calling them then. They were there. And you know who else was there? Agitators. Agitators were there. Y'all sit on this internet telling the tea. And this is for leftist TikTok because we've been trying to tell y'all. Everybody's told y'all. Y'all getting up here telling the tea, telling all the plans. When everybody who's ever done real work knows that real work don't happen on the phone. Real work happens on the street. It happens on the pavement. It happens ear to ear. You know why? Because the feds are always listening. They always have informants.
Haven't they been testing this out for the longest? Haven't they been testing out listening on our devices through apps? I want you all to pay attention to another test. Think about it. During the pandemic, what was the other test that had to do with your phone? President Trump did it. What was that test? He checked to see whether or not he had the ability to send everybody and push through a text message on everyone's phone. Do you remember that? Because we're going to talk about cotton picking in a moment. Remember that test? Oh yeah. You're going to sit here and see all of the signs in front of you and pretend as if you don't see. All right.
So you may not have that issue, right? But what if your brother, whether they come knock on your brother's door and he flip on y'all, now your whole house gone? Come on now, act like y'all know how this works. Come on now, show me you know how the feds get down. Show me something, for real. All y'all people who sat up going extra hard for all of these causes and attaching your name and your face to movements and your location and your city and showing your homes, you're on a list. You're on a list. And don't you dare look like you might have a parent who's not from here. You're out of here. Where do y'all think they're going to get these numbers from? Where do y'all think they're going to get these numbers from? Every time they've caught a mobster, every time they've caught a gangster, every time they've caught a drug dealer, all these rappers, what's one thing they all have in common? They be on them f***ing phones. And every time I tell y'all, get off them f***ing phones. The phones be tapped to shit. I know regular niggas who work for the FBI. Regular, be in the club with the feds. You think they don't be on this app ready to do their job? Scrolling at their desk in the federal building? Y'all are slow. Y'all are not in reality. Y'all are not in the field. And I'm thinking it's because y'all are young. To be honest, y'all don't know what you're talking about. Y'all, and like I said, you're not black. So your grandparents were not telling you the real stories. Word of mouth. Them books always been lying. Y'all worried about them removing critical race theory. The books always been lying. Ask the Native Americans. They always been lying. When they had the Trail of Tears, bro, y'all about to really wake me up, bro. When they had the Trail of Tears and they had all them people walk to North and South Dakota, what happened before that? They broke a fucking treaty. The government agreed to give them this land and said, actually, never mind, we want it back. So actually, never mind. They want their green card back.
All right. So I want you all to pay very close attention. Please, people are saying that I'm fear-mongering and all of this other stuff. Okay. Listen, let me tell you something. When you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. And speaking of ready, who has been the group of people who have been stockpiling guns and assault rifles for decades? There's some people who just really haven't gotten over the fact that you are no longer their servant for free. They haven't gotten over it at all. They have let you know through their actions that the police are here for them, that the police, they work for them. They use the police as their personal bodyguards. And they know, because when the police show up, listen, let me tell you. I remember I was in California. I was in my RV at the time, and I happened to come to a rodeo, right? And I went to the rodeo. I'm surrounded by white people. and the person next to me decides to start getting a little rah-rah. She's drunk. All types of stuff is going on. When the ruckus began and security came over, even though this woman looked like a meth head and was all of, guess who they turned to try to forcibly remove from the premise? They turned to me. And I'm sitting there surrounded by all these people. And the person to my left started hollering at security. She didn't do anything. It's the one over there who did it. And then some people up in the back and other people started hollering that I wasn't the one who did anything. What has our country shown you about the way some of these people feel? Are there enough of the anti-racist white people to really stand up for what's right against the people who will not? What about the people who will be silent? What about them? When the roundups start happening, are they going to risk themselves for you? I just want us to pay attention. Hey Knockout, thanks for watching. This video filled your cup, so be sure to return the favor by making sure that you're subscribed and watching one of the other videos. QR code in the middle gives you my personal link.
Please fill my cup. Am I really asking for much? Just been a long week, I'm looking for fun. Please fill my cup. Find me under the sun.